What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. I'm not sure if this is like an Owen Wilson wow, or if it's a Keanu Reeves whoa that you're going to experience by the end of this video, because I want to talk about something very important in regards to your training. We've spoken before about periodization training, technique tips, different exercises that will assist you, but I want to talk about the biopsychosocial aspects of human physiology just a little bit. You see what's been going on. I've been doing a podcast for this past month with Dr. Eric Helms, PhD. And what we've been doing is we've been having roundtable discussions on a variety of topics. The podcast is called Iron Culture. It's going to be released next week, so it's going to be February 11th will be the first one, but on a variety of topics. So the history of lifting, like I said, it's called Iron Culture, but also the science of lifting. So we had a roundtable discussion on periodization with some OGs in the field, someone by the name of John Kiley, who published a paper in 2012 that basically turned periodization on its head, or the concept of periodization, how people regard it. Mike Zordos was also on there, who's a modern expert when it comes to periodization. And then lastly, Mike Tashir, who people might know from reactive training systems, which he owns, as well as introducing auto-regulation RP. So a lot of great minds coming together for this roundtable discussion that was 2 hours long. But one of the biggest takeaways from this discussion on periodization is how the biopsychosocial aspects influence our physiology, how we perform, more so than anyone can possibly imagine. And that's why auto-regulation, something that Mike Tashir implemented, and that's why RPE, rate of perceived exertion, is so important. But the analogy that I think Mike gave is that imagine training is kind of like this. Training is like being alone in a cave. It's completely dark. You have no idea what the cave looks like, and you're stumbling around.
Wow.
The training program you're given is a map. The map actually isn't completely accurate when it comes to the cave. In fact, it could be dead wrong. But the assurance that you have from this map is so comforting that it makes you bolder in terms of your exploration of this cave. And if that analogy completely lost you, don't worry about it. What I'm trying to say is that outside factors from the gym greatly influence your performance and thus your results that you experience. It's obvious that I say to you guys, when you're in the gym, you should be focused. You should be trying to attack your workouts, trying to, make the bar in the concentric portion move as fast as possible. But when we say biopsychosocial, how you're feeling, what's going on in your life, how many hours of sleep you're getting, when we talk about preparation, little things like making sure that you train at the same time, you afford enough time to train, that you go over things like being on YouTube, trying to learn about technique. You're in that mindset of trying to improve yourself. And John Kiley gave the example where you could have two individuals, identical twins. Let's just say hypothetically we could clone one person. And so you have two identical people, and they've gone through the exact same thing up until this point in time. And you give them a training session, and one person just found out that someone died in their family, and the other person received amazing news. They got a new promotion. There's something very positive happened in their life. Now, the end result of their training for that session will be drastically different. The person that had that terrible news, well, it's going to have a cascading effect on their brain, right? It's going to make them less confident in the gym. They're not going to feel as excited. Their nervous system, they're going to feel more fatigued. The weight's going to feel heavier on their back. You extrapolate this over a long period of time, and we could see how important this is. And another thing that was emphasized for those out there when, someone has said it's just a mindset, it's all a mindset, and I think that is a valid point. How we frame things to make us successful is equally as important. And that's why I talked about environment when it comes to finding the right training environment, the right training partners. I remember at the University of Windsor, I traveled an hour and a half in order to get to the gym because it was the best gym. I could have went to a local gym that was 15 minutes away from my house, but I chose to go to a gym I knew I'd get better results at. And another thing that was emphasized was the placebo effect. And that's why when we talk about training, a training program is important. You don't want to make it too rigid where it doesn't take into account the individual, which is why RP is always a fantastic idea. Yes, it's subjective, but only using objective measurements can actually be a pitfall when it comes to a lifter. The placebo effect is the concept that, and they did a study on this, that they gave people basically sugar pills. They told them it was steroids, and oh my God, you take these, you can get stronger. Again, they're just sugar pills. And then they gave other people just nothing and they made them train, and these were experienced lifters. Those that thought they were taking performance-enhancing drugs, and again, it was just sugar that they're taking, experienced a noticeable increase in their performance in the gym. And these are experienced lifters. These aren't at random average people you get, off of the street. And so the placebo effect, how you regard your training, your mindset when you enter, these are all huge factors that aren't talked about often enough. And something I want to leave everyone with today, what I personally find inspirational, and I think, dedication, discipline will basically guarantee you reach your goals. Motivation can kind of wane over time, but something that is inspirational for everyone out there. I stumbled upon this on the Instagram today. An 89-year-old man who weighed 147 pounds, deadlifting 405. You think this guy, Joe Stockinger, I believe his name is, I'm gonna link it in the description, this video. This is a man who's experienced a lot of stuff. At this point in time, most of us would imagine we'd be in a retirement home. He has every right to complain about how achy his body is, how everything hurts, how he doesn't have the motivation, how he wants to go to sleep. He's 89 years old, and yet this guy is in the gym lifting more weight than a lot of gym bros, not complaining. You look at his mindset, his attitude after he does the lift, he looks happy, he is ecstatic. If you think to yourself, this man right here, this individual can get into that space where he's controlling his outside variables so that when he's in the gym, he's not too stressed about all these different things, go inside and crush his workout. At 89 years old, what excuse do I personally have? And so I think we should demand more of ourselves. I think we should set up our lives in a way that will make us successful. And so that's why I talked about environment, I talked about training partners, I talked a bit about mindset. Just even how you organize your day, something I can honestly work on, and I have been working on, that has been a huge improvement for me, is just making sure I'm eating enough. When I'm in a lean mass phase, I work a decent amount, and so I'll tend to forget to eat enough throughout the day. And so sometimes if I'm in the lean mass phase, I'll eat 2,500 calories. I'll do that for 4 or 5 days straight, maybe 2,000 calories. Is that enough in order to synthesize new muscle? Hell no. So making sure you're set up for success, I think, is so important. I think periodization, which this upcoming podcast will cover for 2 hours, getting into the nitty-gritty science, is very important, but you can't ignore the individual. Anyways, I hope this motivates you to achieve more out of your training. Thank you so much for watching the video. For everyone watching this one, I want you to follow us on Instagram, the new podcast, Iron Culture Podcast. It's going to be the next level of scientific information for this channel. I'm going to create a separate channel for that podcast, but really getting into advanced topics. So make sure to follow that. Link is in the description. If you found this video helpful, if you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.